may be thinking, why are we talking about Black Friday? That happened 2 weeks ago. The one thing that I learned in my experience in corporate retail was to recap in the moment, because you are not gonna remember half of what happened for your business and what happened in the industry 8 months from now when you start planning Black Friday the next year. I think that this video is going to be a fantastic resource for you. I'm going to share all of my information down to the exact sales numbers. I'm not going to gatekeep anything from you guys. I will also include some industry information that I gathered for myself that I'm going to use when I plan my next Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. And that's going to be great because you can look back on this video when you plan in August, September next year. So let's get into mine first. I don't love doing a 20% off site-wide sale because in my experience, you end up selling all of your best sellers and products that you would normally get full price. You end up selling all of those things for 20% off, and you're left with the things that might be on sale or marked down or not moving as quickly. So the sale really just hurts you a lot. Instead of, when I did my Black Friday plan, and I've done this for the last probably 3 Black Fridays, I've been in business for 5 years now. What I offered to my customers was a code that gave them free shipping for no order minimum. So you could order $10 and it would be free shipping. Yes, I get it. I probably lost money on that, but we'll get to the reason later why that's okay. Then I offered any order over $50, you would get 2 free gifts. I did not specify what the gifts were to details. I did say it would include things like lip balm, my mini whip soaps and sugar scrubs, and a few bath bombs. So I didn't totally, keep my customers in the dark. I told them what kind of categories they could expect. I use this as an opportunity to maybe get rid of some things that weren't moving as fast. I have one particular fragrance called Ski Bunny that I personally love. I think people just don't gravitate towards that as much, and I had made a ton of it because I loved it. So I was sitting on a lot of inventory that didn't move. So everyone kind of got to try Ski Bunny. And what's great about that is I know once people smell it, they're gonna like it. So hopefully it will actually help sales this year and next year if I bring it back. So I'm not giving away bad items, but things that might not be moving as quickly. And still, it's free gifts. Everyone loves free gifts, and it's a way for people to maybe do their holiday shopping and keep a couple things for themselves. I also use this as a great opportunity to put a few things on sale. Normally in the Black Friday space, retailers will often do like a doorbuster. I didn't want to do that. What I would rather do is things that were from maybe my fall line, so not super old, but things like my pumpkin, I had a cafe au lait scent, things that are a little bit more outdated, but still relevant and not old by any means. I put them on sale. So customers, I noticed, would buy their holiday gifts or buy some of the best-selling scents that I have year-round because they're gifting that to somebody, and then they would throw 1 or 2 of the fall fragrances into their basket because it was on sale. So that, coupled with the other few discounts, people still felt like they were getting a great sale discount. And if someone wanted my best-selling items, I still got to collect the full price value on that. What you've all been waiting for, how much money did I actually sell over my Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend? I ran the sale from Friday all the way through midnight on Monday night. I didn't do different things on different days. It is way too confusing for my customers. I did the same deal all 4 days, and I got sales throughout. Of course, Friday I got the most sales, but Monday had another significant boost as people were looking for some of those online deals. For this 4-day time period, in comparison to 2021, for the same 4-day time period, Black Friday through Cyber Monday, I was up 19%. That is amazing to me because the economy right now and retail is hovering around a 7 or 8% increase. Statistics that are talking about sales in beauty categories, which is where I fit. I know I'm small, I have a teeny tiny little piece of it. I was up 19%, beauty was up 14%. So I personally am incredibly proud of the sales that I drove. The other awesome thing here, and this is why I love running some kind of promotional deal around this time period, is I acquired 23 new customers. When you do any research on customer acquisition, every time I read anything about it, you hear how expensive it is to acquire a new customer, which is why people spend a lot of money to keep the customers they have, because it's even more expensive to acquire a new customer. So I cannot believe that of the 78 orders that I had, 23 of them were brand new customers. I also encourage you, as you're going through and doing this for your own business, to look at the top selling items. Mine was the same as last year. I have a scent called Merry and Bright. It has always been my best-selling scent for holiday, and again for Black Friday it was my #1 scent as well. And I probably could have sold more, but I unfortunately sold out of my stock by Sunday night. So note to myself, this is where this video comes in handy. I'm going to make sure that next year I have way more than I actually did, because I sold out on Sunday night and I have customers who are asking if and when I'm going to be restocking. Now that you guys have seen what I did, I also think it's important to take notes on things you wish you had done better, or just things you picked up on over looking at other people. So what I wish I did for myself, I wish I had more bundle options. If you look at brands like Truly Beauty, they do these bundles, and in my business that would look something like a large whipped soap and a large sugar scrub in the same scent, and instead of it being $44 for the two, it's $35 for the two. So you get a little bit of a savings, yet your average basket goes up. I had every intention of doing this, and quite honestly, I'm sure you all know how this feels when you run a small business. You can't get everything done, and the weeks leading up to Black Friday and Cyber Monday were hectic for me, both professionally and personally. We hosted almost 20 people at our home, and I always put my heart into hosting my family. It's something I love doing, so that took a lot of time as well. And yeah, I could have put that on the back burner to make sure I had these bundles, but life is short and I needed to make my family a little bit of a priority as well. So instead of taking photos and uploading bundles the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I made sure my family was going to have a very memorable holiday. So I do think though for next year I need to be better prepared and plan this more in advance, and I will absolutely have bundle options. That's how customers are shopping for things, and I do think it's a great way to up your average basket. The next thing I wish I had done, and this is a tough one for me because I feel like I'm usually pretty good, is I wish I shipped faster. I had about 100 orders, and that might not sound like a lot to some of you, or it might sound like an insane amount. For me, it was enough to take shipping a full 2 days for myself. That means I shipped Monday and Tuesday. I had people who placed an order on Friday, not a lot, but I did have a few customers email me asking when their order was going to ship. As a small business, that can be frustrating because, hello, hi, I'm making everything myself, I'm shipping everything, marketing it, and you guys get all of that. So we look at it from a selfish perspective of, I'm doing everything I can, I'm not Amazon, but instead of saying all those things, I wrote her back and I just said, yes, of course, all of our orders are shipping on Monday and Tuesday. I probably could have gone in on Sunday and shipped some orders so that they were ready to go Monday morning instead of Monday afternoon, and then all of the balance of the orders that came in Cyber Monday could have shipped Tuesday, and it was less than like a 24-hour. I try to always ship my orders less than 24 hours from when I receive them, but because of the influx of orders, it just took me longer. And many people will understand that you're a small business and things don't move as quickly as Amazon. But I also notice when I collect reviews on my website, I probably get a review a week of someone praising how quickly I ship. So I know that customers are grateful for how fast products get to them. So even though it might sound like I was quick and I certainly wasn't lazy about it, I feel like I could improve on that next year. So now that you've heard my story, I am going to give you guys a little bit of information around the industry. If you're new here, I do a ton of reading. Almost every day I read an hour to 2 hours of retail and beauty news. I share a lot of that information on my Instagram, by the way, so make sure you follow me there because you'll get a ton of little snippets throughout the week of what's going on in the beauty industry. But I wanted to at least give you guys some information here since we are doing an all-encompassing Black Friday, Cyber Monday video. I'm sure you noticed if you did any shopping yourself that Black Friday deals kind of changed this year. And the typical Black Friday, I mean, I'm an 80s baby. I remember going to the mall, crazy lines, crazy deals, these doorbusters, and there was some funny videos on TikTok that I saw of people saying like Black Friday used to be that you got the free flat screen TV when you bought something like a CD player, and it was like crazy. I just remember Black Friday being something where you felt like you were getting so much for free. And it's interesting because the information that came out from this past Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the average percent off was around 30. So it wasn't, I didn't even see much at 50. The only times I saw 50 would have been if a store was doing an additional 50 off of sale. So again, trying to move that stale product. I saw 30 almost everywhere I shopped, even from some small brands all the way up to some big ones. The other part of the Black Friday deals, it used to be just one day. Like, I don't know when it got to the point where Black Friday deals started on November 1st, but that's what we did this year. I bought this sweater and a couple other sweaters early on in the month, and I got great deals. I got things for 50% off, sometimes better than what I feel like I would have gotten them on Black Friday, but it started earlier. So just keep that in mind as you are planning your business. It is no longer just the one day, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you make yours one day. The other new emerging trend, I would say, coming out of this past weekend, there's a lot of stores rebelling against Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It typically is a US only event, although it does seem to be spreading to other countries that don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but it's just a trend, I guess. There are a lot of people against it because it doesn't fit into their corporate values. Companies like Angela Roy, I actually own one of their bags. I love it. It's a vegan leather company. They're kind of expensive, but it's a beautiful piece. They rebelled against Black Friday. Instead, what they did, they encouraged their customers to donate to a charity, and if they did, they could submit their donation and in return get a 20% off discount to the site. So it was still a deal, but there was this charitable donation woven into their deal, and it still made their customers feel like they were doing good. Another company that I wasn't familiar with was Karuma Footwear. I think that's, not sure if that's how you say it. They are a footwear company, and normally when you buy a pair of shoes from them, they plant 2 trees in the Brazilian rainforest. This Black Friday, they upped that and said any purchase made during these 4 days, instead of us planting 2 trees, we will plant 10. So customers didn't really save anything, but if you are shopping with them, you are probably very conscious of the environment and sustainability, and it might actually have been enough of a deal for you to want to make a purchase with them, because they're in turn going to do even better and replenish the rainforest that is so dramatically deforested. And if you are in the soap and beauty industry like myself, you know there's a hot topic around palm oil, and part of that is because of the deforestation going on in the Brazilian rainforest. And then just general topics and things that I noted, I thought it would be helpful to document here as well. We talked about this on Instagram a few days ago, but buy now, pay later was huge. I love these apps like Afterpay, Sezzle, Klarna, there's a few more. They are sometimes making or breaking a customer shopping with you. If you don't offer those payment options, it's not that hard to sign up. I have Afterpay, and it has been easy behind the scenes, and it probably only drives about 5% of my sales. But as you grow and as it becomes more popular and more mainstream, and as Gen Z ends up spending even more money in business as they get out of college and get jobs, you want to have this payment option. That's something you can implement now. You don't need to wait until next Black Friday for that. I think that that is the way people are starting to shop. This isn't super new, but I just wanted to point out the difference of my personal visitors that were on mobile versus desktop. 58% of my store visits over the weekend were on mobile. And what this basically means, and I shopped quite a bit from my phone too, is you need to make sure your website looks good on mobile. I have not done this. I will not tell, do not look at mine. It is not where I want it to be, but I have noticed that You know, when you do the same banner for your desktop and it goes onto mobile, it's much smaller. You can't really, I can't see on mobile on my own site what those images look like. There are ways you can put different photos on mobile. I need to do a lot more research on this. If you're better versed in it, then go for it. And maybe this isn't new information for you, but I need to do a lot more work on making sure my mobile site is easy, accessible, everything's visible, it's not hard to navigate, and do a little bit more work with that. A few brands announced their sales well in advance. I did this, but only a couple days before, and I will tell you, every time I do a sale, and it's not often, I always get customers that email me saying, if I knew the sale was gonna start today, I wouldn't have ordered yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever. By the way, I always just give them the sale. It's so much easier to keep a customer happy than it is to try and acquire one like we were talking about. If you announce something in advance and you tell your customers, hey, these are our Black Friday sales, and you're announcing this a week, maybe even 2 weeks earlier, your customers don't feel as anxious to purchase from you. And I like the idea of announcing something in advance. So although I did it myself, I think even next year I'm going to do it even more in advance. The last little thing I noticed, I did a code for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I just did BFCM as the code. So easy enough to remember, type in, and that's what generated the free shipping. And then I, on the back end, did the free gifts and giveaway stuff. So I thought it was super simple. I still had people that didn't put the code in. There are just the assumption that everything is automatic. People aren't paying attention. They're probably shopping at a dozen, maybe even more stores on that day. I had customers that paid for shipping on Black Friday. So of course that's extra work for me to go back and make sure that they get their discount. And instead, it would have been a lot easier if it was just automatic. I hope you guys found these tips helpful. I will be doing a lot of work next Black Friday beforehand to bring you guys more information a little bit more current. But if you are going to be in business next year, please take the time to analyze your own sales, kind of recap what happened for you and what you would change, and just keep it in a Word document on your computer. You don't need to do any crazy heavy lifting, but I promise you, you're gonna have a much more successful experience next year if you properly recap right now in the moment. And I hope these tips that I gave you might help you do that. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.